The battle was over, but the silence of space still carried the scars of war. Broken ships floated through the darkness like dead giants. Pieces of metal and fire drifted slowly across the battlefield. The alien fleet had won the fight, but the victory felt strange. Too many ships were destroyed. Too many soldiers were gone. Inside the alien command cruiser, Commander Zorvok stood near the observation window, staring at the ruins outside. His sharp eyes moved from one destroyed ship to another. Something about this battle did not make sense. A smaller human fleet had faced their powerful armada. By all calculations, the humans should have been wiped out within minutes. Yet 3 alien destroyers were gone. And dozens of fighters had vanished. Suddenly, a young alien officer rushed into the command room. "Commander," the officer said, breathing fast. "Our patrol found something in the debris." Zorvok turned slowly. "Report." "A human escape pod, still active." The room went silent. Humans rarely survived battles like this. "Bring it aboard," Zorvok ordered. Minutes later, guards escorted the prisoner into the interrogation chamber. The human soldier looked injured. His armor was burned and cracked. Blood stained one side of his face. But he walked without fear. He did not beg. He did not shout. Instead, he looked around the alien ship calmly, as if studying it. Commander Zorvok entered the room and sat across from the prisoner. The alien commander activated the translator device. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Zorvok leaned forward slightly. "You are the only human survivor," he said coldly. The human looked at him with tired but steady eyes. "That sounds about right." Zorvok's eyes narrowed. "Explain something to me, human. How did one ship destroy half my fleet?" The human soldier gave a small, quiet smile. And that answer was about to change everything. The room became very quiet after the human smiled. Alien officers standing around the chamber watched him carefully. Most prisoners were afraid during interrogation. They begged for mercy or tried to lie. But this human looked almost relaxed. Commander Zorvok studied him closely. The soldier's armor was badly damaged. One arm of the suit was burned black, and dried blood covered part of his uniform. By all logic, this human should have been weak and exhausted. Yet his eyes were calm. Zorvok tapped a control panel. A hologram of the battlefield appeared in the center of the room. Broken ships floated across the projection like silent ghosts. 3 of my destroyers were destroyed, Zorvok said slowly. The human glanced at the hologram. "Only 3, he replied. Some alien officers looked shocked at the answer. Zorvok leaned forward. "You find this amusing?" The human shook his head slightly. "No. I'm just surprised more of you survived." Murmurs spread across the alien officers. One guard tightened his grip on his weapon. Zorvok raised a hand, stopping them. "Your fleet was smaller," the commander continued. "Your ships were older. You were surrounded." The human nodded. "That part is true. Then explain how this happened." Zorvok pointed at the destroyed ships floating in the hologram. The human looked at the projection quietly for a moment. His expression changed slightly when he saw one of the wrecks. "That one was Captain Reyes," he said softly. "Good pilot." Zorvok noticed the change in his voice. "You speak of the dead with respect," the commander said. "Of course," the human replied. "Then tell us how they destroyed my fleet." The soldier slowly looked back at the alien commander. "You really want to know?" Zorvok nodded once. The human leaned back in the metal chair. "All right," he said calmly. "But you're not going to like the answer." The interrogation chamber remained silent as the human prepared to speak. Commander Zorvok crossed his arms and waited. The alien officers around the room watched the prisoner carefully. Every word could reveal something important about human war tactics. The human looked once more at the hologram of the battlefield. You said our fleet was smaller, he began. You're right. We only had 8 ships. Zorvok nodded. His records confirmed that number. And you had 27, the human continued. One alien officer spoke with confidence. Which is why your defeat was certain. The human gave a small shrug. Normally, yes. Zorvok leaned forward slightly. Then explain the destroyed ships. The human pointed at one wreck in the hologram. That destroyer was taken out in the first 5 minutes. Zorvok frowned. Impossible. The soldier shook his head. Not impossible. Just, expensive. The alien officers looked confused. Captain Reyes flew his fighter straight into the destroyer's engine core, the human explained calmly. Several aliens reacted with shock. He what? One officer said. He rammed it, the human repeated. Full speed. The room filled with whispers. No pilot would sacrifice themselves like that, an alien guard said. The human looked at him with quiet seriousness. Human pilots would. Zorvok studied the soldier again. You destroyed one of my largest ships with a suicide attack. The human nodded. That was just the beginning. He pointed at another wreck in the hologram. That cruiser exploded because our engineers overloaded its reactor. But your ship was attached to it, an officer protested. Yeah, the human said simply. Both ships went down. Zorvok slowly realized something disturbing. These were not accidents. The humans had planned it. You are telling me, Zorvok said carefully, that your own crews destroyed themselves just to damage us. The human met his gaze. We didn't destroy ourselves. We completed the mission. The alien officers suddenly understood something terrifying. Humans were willing to die, if it meant winning. Zorvok leaned back, processing the revelation. His claws tapped nervously on the console. Around him, the alien officers exchanged uneasy glances. Strategy guides, simulations, countless calculations, none had prepared them for this. The human soldier's eyes didn't waver. You think this is reckless? We call it precise, he said. Every sacrifice had purpose. Every move was calculated to force you into mistakes. One alien officer, younger than the others, hissed sharply. You risk everything, including lives of your own crew, for what? Pride? Raylan's voice was calm but unwavering. For survival. For humanity. Pride isn't a point, adaptability is. When you corner us, we don't cower. We fight back. Every loss teaches us. Every setback is a step forward. Zorvok's many eyes narrowed. And yet, your fleet was tiny, your resources limited. How did you coordinate such attacks? The human gestured to the hologram. Our engineers rigged traps inside every ship we could. Our pilots improvised. We communicated in real time, adjusted to your maneuvers instantly. You had superior numbers, but predictability is a weakness, and humans thrive in chaos. A low murmur spread through the alien officers. One even stepped back, visibly shaken. You plan, mass sacrifice. That is, barbaric. The soldier shook his head. Not barbaric. Efficient. Humans understand that victory often demands risk. But it's not reckless, it's commitment. Commitment to the mission, to each other, to the survival of our species. Zorvok stared at the hologram, realizing his entire assumption of human weakness was wrong. So every ship we destroyed, every loss, it was part of a strategy. Raylan nodded once. Exactly. You assumed we'd run, hide, beg for mercy. You were wrong. We fight. Always. And if we have to give our lives to win, we will. That's what makes humans unstoppable. The room fell silent again. But this time, it was not confidence that filled it. It was fear. A cold, creeping understanding that humans were far more dangerous than any of the galaxy had imagined. The alien command room trembled as alarms blared across the fleet. Zorvok's claws flew over consoles, trying to regain control, but the humans had already infiltrated multiple systems. Every ship they had counted on was suddenly vulnerable. Raylan stood tall, watching the chaos through the holographic display. "You should have finished us when you had the chance," he muttered. "Now it's too late." Engineers inside the station worked with calm precision, rerouting power through damaged conduits, igniting hidden charges, and overriding alien shields. Small craft darted between larger vessels, striking with speed and unpredictability. "Captain Reyes," Raylan called. "Your team is clear to execute Phase 2. The young pilot nodded, diving into the heart of the enemy fleet. Fighters swarmed in perfect coordination, hitting weak points the aliens didn't even know existed. Explosions lit up space, each one a signal of human ingenuity and relentless daring. Zorvok's mandibles clicked anxiously. "Impossible. Their numbers, they should not match ours." "They match in courage," the human soldier replied over comms, voice calm amid the chaos. "Every pilot, every engineer, every crew member is ready to give everything to win. You planned for strategy. We planned for survival." A massive cruiser shuddered as its engines overloaded, sending shards of metal spinning into the void. Another destroyer was caught in a chain reaction, its explosions ripping through the formation. The aliens were falling apart, unable to predict the humans' improvisation. Zorvok's eyes widened in horror as his fleet scattered. He realized, too late, that humans were not just fighters, they were unpredictable, relentless, and fearless. Raylan lowered his weapon slightly, eyes on the retreating fleet. "We didn't just survive," he said quietly. "We reminded the galaxy, humans never give up. And when cornered, we strike back harder than anything you've seen." The alien command fell silent, save for the distant echoes of destruction. Humanity had turned the tide. "If you want, I can write Part 6, Humans' Final Gambit, where humans decisively take control and the story reaches a climactic, viral HFY ending, keeping the same tone and suspense." Zorvok's fleet was in chaos. Smoke trailed from shattered cruisers, and alarm lights flashed across every ship. The humans had turned the impossible into reality, and now the alien commander faced a terrifying truth: they were outmatched not in strength, but in resolve. Raylan stood at the station's command deck, watching the alien vessels falter. His engineers worked furiously, linking the station's core to a network of hidden weapons, traps, and power surges. Every system had a purpose, every calculation a deadly promise. "Phase 3 is ready," he said. "Execute on my mark." Across the battlefield, human fighters launched a coordinated strike unlike anything the aliens had seen. Some tore through shields with precision torpedoes, while others rammed engines, detonating ships from the inside. Alien formations collapsed under relentless, unpredictable attacks. Zorvok growled, slamming his claws against a console. "Stop them. Stop them now." But it was too late. The humans had already anticipated every move. Engineers activated the station's final defense, an energy pulse designed to disable the fleet's command network. Alien ships shuddered as their systems failed, leaving pilots helpless and formation broken. Raylan watched silently as the largest cruiser drifted, engines dead, its command bridge dark. He stepped forward, voice calm but commanding. "Your arrogance cost you everything. Humans fight not because we want to, but because we must. And we will never stop." Zorvok stared at him, realization dawning like fire. Humanity was not just a species to conquer. They were a force, unpredictable, relentless, and unyielding. In the void of space, the remaining alien fleet retreated, broken and humbled. The humans had won, but more than that, they had proven a truth no empire could ignore: when cornered, humans did not just survive, they dominated. Raylan lowered his weapon, gaze steady on the stars. Humanity had survived. Humanity had conquered. And the galaxy would never forget.